What if I told you I swam with hundreds of sharks without any protection? Crazy, right?
Oh my god, look at that! So many nurse sharks!
Maldives isn't like any other country. It requires careful planning, especially if you're going to the local islands. So I would definitely recommend you check out my Maldives guide and how to plan your Maldives holiday videos. The link is above. A few days before landing in Maldives, if someone had told me I could be swimming with hundreds of sharks, I would have just laughed at them straight away. This craziness happened, and it happened so quickly. It was literally my first day on Fuladu, and I was told that I could actually go and swim with hundreds of sharks. I decided to do it because why not? I am a little crazy in the head, I have to admit. I was staying at Fuladu. I arranged this trip with Island Break guys who are really amazing and helpful. If you get there, do check them out. They're really friendly. On a beautiful day, we left from Fuladu full of excitement, nervousness, and curiosity because it was still not happening in my head. It didn't take long, and then we arrived at this lagoon near Thigiri Resort, which is quite a beautiful place on its own, but this craziness around, it seemed even more beautiful.
Oh my god, look at that! So many nurse sharks! Wow. I can totally swim with them, so I'm gonna do that now. Let's go.
Without thinking too much, I just jumped into the water because I knew if I just thought too much, I would never do it. So I just went straight in. But before I tell you any further, I have to sort of put this disclaimer that you will be doing this at your own responsibility. It was a bit crazy at first because I was a bit scared and I'm not a very good swimmer and there were so many sharks around me, but it was really calming and soothing in a few minutes because I realized even though I was surrounded by at least 100 of these beautiful creatures, not a single one touched me. Soon enough, I was just so at peace looking, observing these beautiful creatures. Oh my god, it was insane. I just couldn't believe it. I still cannot believe it. So these are nurse sharks and they are not the crazy predators that you see, the great white shark or the tiger sharks. These have really small mouths and they usually suck their food in, so you hear this little sound and that's how they get their food. And the teeth are also quite small, but they're still sharks. I would definitely not recommend touching any of the animals, especially the sharks, but if you see one coming towards you, just gently place your finger on top of their head and put it down and they will just swim away. Amazing! Nurse sharks are usually nocturnal creatures, but their behavior has changed because the locals have been feeding them. So every time they see a boat, they come looking for food, and that's when you basically swim with them. But when the boats leave, I would not recommend staying in for too long because they're still expecting food. I didn't even realize that I was in the water with them for over an hour. It was crazy. I just came out of the water and then I was flying my drone and I saw how big some of them were and it actually sent some fresh shivers down my spine. It was time to finally say goodbye to these beautiful creatures and we headed back to Fuladu. But if you don't want to actually swim with them in the water, you can still see them at the jetty in Fuladu.
every single night I come to the jetty to meet some special friends, which are always here. I'm gonna go introduce you to them, but you have to be really careful around them because they can sting really bad if you actually make them distressed. Let's go.
Every evening, the locals come and feed them, so you can see the stingrays and the nurse sharks right at the jetty waiting for some food, so you can experience some time with them there as well. And it happens every night. I feel so grateful and privileged that I get to have this amazing experience, and I'm ever more grateful that I can share it with you guys. So I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, you have a beautiful day ahead. Bye.
If you haven't already, do subscribe, like, and comment. I always love some feedback. This is how you do it.